Welcome to Thriver TV, the place to break free from narcissistic abuse with quantum tools and understandings. So today's Thriver TV episode is about one of the most insidious, if not the most insidious connections that we can ever have with a narcissist. It's the connection that you can't even see. It's the psychic ties. And even if you end a relationship with a narcissist, and even when you eventually separate material possessions and you have no physical or verbal contact whatsoever, that connection that you can't physically or logically define is so much harder to break. It's crazy. And the reason that I wanted to do this particular episode is because so many people are tormented by this issue, as I once was myself. The devastation of psychic enmeshment with a narcissist is so real because firstly, it keeps you stuck in shock and it drains your life force. And secondly, it literally feels like your soul is crippled and that you're never going to get free or clean again from that awful feeling of enmeshment. The psychic connection with the narcissist, it's like a soul takeover, because when narcissists infiltrate a person's soul and psyche in order to control and regulate them for narcissistic supply, it requires the narcissist to psychically enter and deregulate their inner being. That's what narcissistic enmeshment is all about. And we could go right into that. But really, the time spent on this episode, I believe, is going to be better served if we talk about how we're going to get out of it. We're going to look at it and then we're going to look at how to get out of it. So we could ask ourselves, is this enmeshment created by the narcissist purposeful, or is it something instinctive? Or is it something that a narcissist maliciously does because it delights them? Or is it simply a finely tuned skill that they've acquired because that's what's become essential for their emotional survival? I think it's all the latter. Narcissists scope you and they work out very quickly what makes you tick in order to render control over you. So like any parasite having to infiltrate a central system to take possession of it, the way in is through weak perimeters. And there are perimeters that have got gaps in them. Security breaches have happened within our inner identity for the narcissist to plant his or her psychic markers inside you to be able to keep you attached, hooked in, and coming back for more, even if it's just emotional, not even making physical contact, to grant the narcissist attention and energy over and over again. To help you understand whether or not you've been psychically violated, you may relate to this. It's the feelings of ice running through your veins and all of the triggers of the narcissist coursing through your body like a black, foul ink. Unless you'd been through narcissistic abuse, you couldn't even begin to know what it feels like. And the weirdest sensations occur. You feel like you know when the narcissist is thinking about you, or trying to get you to break no contact, or is with another lover, or is going to break no contact themselves. And it feels so real, and you totally feel like you're going crazy. Is this real, or am I making this stuff up? And often when in this state of high-level psychic enmeshment, you discover that you're continually physically bumping into the narcissist or his or her associates, or all the things that remind you over and over and over again about him or her. The more you feel the enmeshment within, the more often you're going to get tormented by it in your outside world, because it's quantum law. So within, so without. This I thoroughly believe. The psychic connection that the narcissist has over you that continually leaves you obsessing and traumatized emotionally ensures that they are still extracting energy in the form of emotional attention from you, psychic energy. It's like there is an invisible hose in your inner being sucking your energy dry, with a narcissist getting a feed at the other end of that hose. I've felt this phenomenon myself, and I've also, in the years, over a decade now, that I've been helping people with quantum freedom healing sessions discover that when we clean out the inner traumas that we're allowing a narcissist to be hooked into them and sever the connection, how out of the blue, even sometimes after months or years, at some level the narcissist feels the energy disconnect and out of the blue makes contact. This has happened on several occasions just as the release of the inner trauma occurs. Way too many times for it to be a coincidence. Or maybe you're never going to bump into or hear from the narcissist again because they live in a different continent, or you've blocked all possible contact, or they've passed away. They're not even still alive. Yet they keep visiting you in dreams, as well as you experiencing the intense psychic feelings of attachments. And it's as if the abuse, including the voice of the narcissist in your head, continually lives on inside of you. And what is really tough is it feels like no matter what you do, that you can't break free from the psychic enmeshment that you're trapped in. The truth is, using contemporary methods such as visualizations of blocking and tie cutting, even though they may bring some momentary relief, generally don't provide the full answer. The reason is because cutting a tie without healing and dissolving the reason why the tie is established means that the tie will simply reform, and you're also at risk in enmeshing with future people that represent the same reasons that you had toxic ties with the narcissist in the first place. The way I released myself of the narcissist energy that was compromising and infiltrating my inner being, and how I've helped other people achieve this too, is to create our own inner landscape as one where narcissists can't exist. This is simply and powerfully done by releasing the trauma inside us that the narcissist has been able to latch onto, accentuate, in other words, activate, and feed from. For those of you that are working with quantum freedom healing on the NARP program, or thinking of working with quantum freedom healing, the best way to release the ties of the narcissist is to go directly into the trauma being triggered in your body head on, or actually rather emotion on. Feel it and go right into it, rather than thinking about it and compounding it and making it worse, which is what our mind does, because it can only organize in the consciousness of the actual trauma. And generally what makes a psychic attack from a narcissist or a dream about a narcissist worse and holds it firmly in place is we start obsessing about it. We start thinking, is he or she thinking about me? And if so, why? What does that mean? What's going on? How can I stop this? How do I block it, tie cut it, or get free from it? And the more energy we feed it, like we might think, well, this is a soul contract and this is why I can't get free from it. And I used to think all of those things too. But the more energy we feed it trying to work it out or combat it, the worse it gets. So instead, the very best way to heal for the psychic connection is the same as we heal from all of our triggers and our torments of narcissistic abuse. Don't try to stop it, run from it, or work it out. Instead, go straight into it fearlessly. So let me explain. I used to get psychic enmeshment with a narcissist right through my shoulder blades and up the top of my back. And it would heat up. It would actually somatically, physically heat up. It felt like a hot water bottle was there. And I'd feel a strong unease or even a literal panic. And absolutely, I felt extreme powerlessness, like all of my power was draining out. And until I understood the truth of how to heal from this, I used to try to block it, deflect it, tie cut it, or of course I'd obsess about it. And then I understood that this was a wound in my inner being that the narcissist could attach through. So when I learnt this, I'd go right into the psychic attack. I'd take my consciousness right into there, the triggered horrible feelings of enmeshment, being polluted, the psyche takeover, and the feelings of powerlessness. And with quantum freedom healing, I would track those wounds back to the original wounds, and I discovered deep wounds of I'm not safe in life, and beliefs such as other people can annihilate me. And if I ever had a nightmare about the narcissist, I would track the horror of that nightmare in my body, whatever it was, wherever I was fully feeling it. And I'd load up all the painful beliefs and the emotional debris that was in my subconscious that was attached to it. Deep childhood, epigenetic, generational, female and collective traumas, and I'd release all of them out of my being, which is what the quantum freedom healing process does. Then all of that sensation in my back, all of that psychic attack and the nightmares just stopped, and it happened very, very quickly. So when I cleaned these wounds out with quantum freedom healing, there was no more psychic attack, no more narcissistic connection, because a whole healed inner being space is somewhere where narcissistic energy can't be, truly. And of course, the evolution that we get, our life personal evolution, is priceless, because we're clearing wounds such as I'm not safe in life and other people can annihilate me and all of those things. And when we clear those, we step into our blossoming and our radiance. So I hope that that has really helped inspire you to walk straight into, go directly into those feelings of psychic connection, really self-partner, feel. We cannot heal what we're not prepared to feel. So feel, find, track, release, replace, and heal the reasons why it's been happening to you. And also too, for NARPers, people that are on the NARP program, in the NARP forum, we coach you on this stuff. We can really, really help you with psychic attack, the Thrivers in there, and myself, and so that you can up level from this psychic phenomena trauma that is so synonymous with narcissistic abuse. So anyway, I'd love you to come over and join the conversation on the blog, which is blog.melanietoniaevans.com. And you know, I love, thank you for all of your comments and your shares and your likes. It's just really awesome how this Thriver revolution is just becoming more and more prolific for people healing from abuse. So please, you know, keep passing this stuff on. And as always, keep smiling, keep healing, keep thriving, because there's nothing else to do. Lots of love. Bye-bye.